Good morning, class. My name is Mr. Hernane, and for today, I am your instructor. I'm your teacher. And before we start on with our class, I would like to ask Mr. Early Seven to please lead the prayer. Okay. Amen. Okay. Thank you, Mr. Early Seven, for leading the prayer. For now and now, may I ask the secretary to please check the attendance and just take a screenshot of who who among uh, the students are present for today, okay? And send it to me later. Okay, before we start off with our proper discussion, I am going to show you a short video presentation so that you can have an advance or an insight of what our topic could be for today, okay? So please pay attention because this video is a bit short and is important. So that you can follow up with our topic for today, okay? Okay, so please pay attention to the video.
Factorial. A Muslim. Hi, I'm 5. Meet my friend, 5 Factorial. We're going to tell you all about factorial. We're going to tell you all about factorials. Right. So, a factorial helps you determine how to organize or arrange a large number of items. A factorial helps you determine how to organize or arrange. Whoa, why are you yelling? Because there's an exclamation point after my name. It's kind of my thing. Of course. Well, tell you what, I'll take it from here. Suit yourself. A factorial, as my friend here mentioned, ends in an exclamation point. However, the exclamation point, for one, is not being added for emphasis or because factorials are particularly exciting. Hey! It is just a symbol which indicates that the number you are dealing with is in fact a factorial. For example, the number 4 factorial really represents 4 times 3 times 2 times 1. How is that helpful? Glad you asked. Say you're going to see your favorite band, Troll Slayer, in concert. The band is great, but they've only written 4 songs. Death Tongue, Anvil of Evil, Scorpion Love, and Hate Shroud. Try figuring out in what order they will play their 4 songs. We know you've got your fingers crossed that they open with Scorpion Love. Then segue into Anvil of Evil. Follow that puppy up. Shroud, and finally bring the house down with Death Tongue. But that's only one possible set list. How many possibilities are there? Well, there are 4 options for their opener. Once their first song has been determined, there are only 3 options for their second song, then only 2 options for their third, and lastly, a single option left for their big finale. There are 4 times 3 times 2 times 1, or 24 possible orders for the band's set list. Make sense? Sure, but what if the audience wants an encore? I don't think they're ready for that kind of math. Good call. Suit yourself.
Okay, that's it for the video. Now we are going to start our discussion. So I believe you have already a guess of what our topic would be. So let's start. Our topic is all about a factorial. Okay, factorials. So here are the objectives. So at the end of the lesson, students will be able to, okay, first is to evaluate a factorial expression. Second, to use properties of factorials to simplify and evaluate expressions. The third is to find solutions to factorial equations. Okay, so you're expected to be able to do these 3 objectives at the end of the lesson. Okay, so let's continue. Now we have the definition of a factorial. Okay, so as said earlier in the video, I believe it is introduced What is a factorial? So a factorial is a product of a given positive integer multiplied by all lesser positive integers. The symbol of that is that n with an exclamation point. So where n is the given integer. Okay, so just remember that symbol. Next is the factorial. The factorial is of a number is the product of all the whole numbers except 0 that are less than or equal to the number. Now, for example, to find the factorial of 7, you would multiply together all the whole numbers except 0 that are less than or equal to 7. So it is like this. That is 7 times 6 times 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1. That's how you multiply. That is how you find the factorial of 7, and that is 5040. Now, the factorial of a number is shown by putting an exclamation point after the number. So, 7 factorial or 7 with an exclamation point is a way of writing the factorial of 7 or 7 factorial. So, factorials are very useful tool in probability. As you all know, probability includes high high quantity of numbers. Okay, so that is very useful in finding probabilities. So they can show how many different ways there are to arrange a set of things. For example, if you have 5 books on a shelf and you want to know how many different ways to arrange them, simplify. Simply find the factorial of 5, which is 5 factorial. That is 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1. That would be equal to 120. Okay? So, this shows that you can arrange 5 books in 120 ways. So, here is a math trivia. So, mathematicians have decided that the factorial of 0 or 0 factorial is 1. Why? Because you can arrange a set of nothing, an empty set, in just one way, as nothing, an empty set. Okay? So if you have 0 factorial, you cannot multiply it 1 because 1 is not lesser than 0. So you can only have it once. Okay? So it's just in one way. Okay? So proceed. Here are more examples. You need to evaluate 4 factorial, and that is 4 times 3 times 2 times 1, which is 24. Next is to evaluate 11 factorial, which is 11 times 10 times 9 times 8 times 7 times 6 times 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1. Okay? So, the answer of that is 39,916,800. Okay? So, let's continue. Now we are going to evaluate a fraction. So, since it is in a fraction form, all you have to do is to write the given values of 8 and 6. As you can see, the numerator has the same value from 6 to less than 6 to the denominator. All you have to do is cancel it out to make it easier. So, to make things easier for you, you just need to cancel out similar terms. That is 6 down to 1 on both as upper and lower part of the fraction. Then multiply the remaining two digits, and we are going to come up with an answer of 56. Okay, so let us continue. Now we have 10 factorial plus 4 factorial over 8. So as instructed earlier, we are going to mm, find the factorial of 10, 4, and 8, and then cancel out similar terms. So we are going to cancel 8 down to 1 from for the both parts of the equation, for the fraction, the upper part and the lower part, or the numerator and the denominator. Now we have 10 times 9 remaining, plus 4 factorial, that is 90 plus 24, and the final answer would be 114. Okay, class? I hope you are keeping up with my explanation. I hope you are understanding my explanation. Okay, so let's continue. Now you want to know how many arrangements you can do in 9 chairs. So let's do the 9 factorial. That is 362,880. So there are 362,880 ways to arrange 9 chairs. Okay? So class, if you have questions, don't hesitate to ask me. If you want some clarifications, don't hesitate to ask me because I'll be entertaining your questions. So let us continue. Now, to practice what you have learned so far, let us have an activity. Okay, so it is think, pair, share. So find a partner and answer the following. Okay, so you can choose your own partner. Okay, so the activity is this. Evaluate 8 factorial times 3 factorial. Now, next is to solve for 11 factorial plus 3 factorial. Number 3 is a word problem, which is how many different ways can a coach organize the 3 chosen shooters to take part in a shootout in hockey game. The fourth number involves a fraction, which is 6 factorial over 8 factorial. And the last question is the 9 factorial minus 4 factorial is equal to 0 factorial. Over. I mean over. Sorry. So let us continue to the activity and I'll let you answer it. So I'll just give you about maybe 5 minutes or more. Just answer it and I'll just I'll just check the answers later. Okay? So go on with your partner and answer those questions. Okay, so we are now going to proceed to checking your answers. So I hope you are done. Okay, so let's start checking the answers. So for the first question, the answer is 241,920. So what the correct answer? Okay. So I know you're thinking it's a bit easy for you. Okay, so let's continue. The second answer for the second question is 39,916,806. Okay, so still a bit easy. There are 6 ways to organize the shooters. So I said on the question that there are 3 shooters. Okay, so 3 chosen shooters to take part in a shootout in a hockey game. So there are uh, six ways. Okay, so for the fractions, we have the answer for number 4 is 1 over 56. Um, so, okay, let us explain. Uh, uh, 8 is 6 factorial. 6 factorial over 8 factorial. So, as said earlier, they are going to cancel out similar terms. So, 6 factorial should be cancelled out, which uh, which is uh, the same as 8 factorial. So 8. So from 6 to 1, you're going to cancel that out. So the remaining is that 8 times 7. That will be 56. And for the upper part or for the numerator, um, since you canceled 6 down to 1, you will not write 0 but instead 1. Okay, so I hope you remember your fraction from your past lessons. Okay, so let us continue for number 5. That is 9 factorial minus 4 factorial over 0 factorial. So as said, 0 factorial is 1. So 9 factorial minus 4 factorial is 362,000 over 556. So since it's over 1, it's a whole number. So you're just going to write the numerator. Okay, so I hope many of you got the perfect score because it's just an activity. It's just to check what you've understood. Okay, so that's just, some icebreaker. Okay, so let's continue. Now we are going to have an evaluation test or an exam. So get one sheet of paper and answer the following. Also, after answering, submit your work on our Google Classroom. You will be given 10 minutes to answer 5 questions. For the first question, which is the group of Ben and Ben has 12 songs. They want to sing at at their show on Friday night. How many different set lists can be made? Number 2 is evaluate 0 factorial. Number 5 is evaluate 5 factorial plus 4 factorial times 3. Number 4 is that 10 students are to be placed in a row for photos. Katie and Jake must be beside each other. How many arrangements are there? So number 5 is to evaluate 11 factorial divided by 4 factorial plus 6 factorial. Okay? So you're given 10 minutes to answer the questions. So hopefully you can answer it in time. So your 10 minutes starts now. Okay, so 10 minutes is up. Send your answers to our Google Classroom and I'll just check that later. Okay, so let's proceed. Okay, so reminding you guys of your assignment, just open our Google Classroom. I will be posting our assignment later after this class. Okay, so just keep in contact with our Google Classroom. So I believe we have achieved our objective for today. So that would be all. So that would be all, and I hope that you are you're educated enough about factorials. You have learned many things about factorials. You've understood what is or how factorials work. So that will be all. Class, wait, class secretary, please take a screenshot of those who are in and send it both the first attendance and now. So that would be all, class, and have a nice day. Okay? Thank you. Class dismissed.